Hi, good morning from the Charlottesville area of Virginia. We're in the middle of a heat wave here, but it's supposed to cool down a little bit today. It was 97 yesterday. I haven't made much in the way of videos lately, so I figured I'd drop one. We were in New Orleans, Louisiana last week, the Big Easy. It was interesting. I hadn't been there since I was 7 years old, almost 55 years ago. We drove through it when I was a kid, and I remember I think it was Interstate 10. When you go across the lake, you feel like you're on the water. But anyway, they went through Hurricane Katrina back in 2005. Looks like they did a good job of rebuilding. There is a flood wall right next to, I guess it's the Mississippi River. There's a big flood wall there that they can close if need be, but it makes me wonder, if the city's below sea level and you shut that wall, it means the water can't get in, but if you get water in, how do you get it out? I don't think they have enough pumps on the face of the earth to do that, but hopefully that will never happen again for a long, long time. It was interesting. We stayed right by the French Quarter. Some observations. The roads in the city are horrible, potholes everywhere. The rest of the highways in the state weren't bad. We drove down, by the way. It was like 14 and a half hours each way, down and back. Interstate 59 was awesome, through Alabama, Mississippi. I think a little bit of it went through Tennessee, and Louisiana, yeah, Alabama. And we stopped at Buc-ee's twice on the way home. That's something to behold. That's an experience in itself. It's like a convenience store with a barbecue pit in the middle of it. They sell just about anything in there. But as far as New Orleans goes, the hotel we stayed in was really old, but you could tell that they tried to keep it up nice. They said parking was available, but when we got there, they have like 70 rooms. An old hotel, they had about 70 rooms, but they only had 20 parking spaces. I don't understand the math behind that, but they had said parking was available. So when we got there, we got a space underneath the building inside of their garage, but they said, if we leave, there's no guarantee we'd get the spot. They said parking available. Well, there's a parking lot behind it, but it was $25 a day. The hotel didn't own the property behind it. That was kind of frustrating, but we didn't move the car the whole time we were there. We just stayed in the room, and then anywhere we walked. There's a lot of things within walking distance. The little French market. The prices down there were really high for food and drinks and everything else. It was pretty expensive, although the hotel was very cheap. But there's a lot of restaurants that have live bands. Something you should try if you go there is a po' boy sandwich. You can get them with beef, pork, ham, chicken, shrimp, whatnot. That was pretty interesting to experience that. The coolest drink I had when I was down there was one called the Creole Crush, and there was another one. It was a voodoo punch or something like that. That was pretty good. Sadly, there's a lot of poverty in the city. A lot of homeless people. A lot of people, begging for money. Trying to get your attention, and it was really sad to see people just passed out, sleeping on the street. It didn't seem that dirty, so that was kind of a nice thing. If you ever go down there, they have an aquarium and an insectarium, which is about bugs. Those were pretty cool to see. One ticket price got you into both. They have an outstanding World War II museum there. The French Quarter has these really cool little markets. Almost every restaurant down there has a live band. I would recommend going, but I'm in no hurry to return. It was okay. The people seemed to be pretty nice, but one thing that was really cool, we got groceries and liquor delivered right to our hotel room. You ordered online and they pulled up, and I don't even think there was an extra charge for it. We gave them a tip, but we got some Jim Beam and some Canadian Club, and a few other things. We had these things called Big Sips and Buzz Balls. It's kind of like pre-mixed drinks. You just it looks like about the size of a baseball, maybe a little bigger than a baseball. You just pop it open and pour it over ice. Probably 15% alcohol, 16% alcohol. That was really nice. And so many things within walking distance. Um, the I know there's a lot of other stuff to see in New Orleans, but we didn't drive once we were there. We just left the car there the whole week. And like I said, on the way home, we got to stop at Buc-ee's once for lunch in Alabama, and then again for dinner when we were in Tennessee. So it's Buccees, and their mascot is a big beaver. And let me tell you, it's an experience. You go in there and it's it's like a people magnet. And they've got the cleanest bathrooms you will ever see anywhere. I mean, you could almost eat off the floor in there. They have a full-time guy. His job is nothing but cleaning bathrooms. The soap is stocked. The toilet paper's stocked. There's no icky bathrooms in there. And they even have stalls where they have a red and a green light up at the top, so you know if it's occupied. And they probably have like 30 of them. It was pretty amazing. The gasoline was about the same. I think we got one place we only paid, I think it was like $3.75, which seemed cheap. But then I looked at the pump and it was E15. That was all they had. Normally most gas stations sell 10% ethanol, E10, but this was E15. So anyway, your gas mileage drops a little bit. But there were four of us, and we went. It was with myself, my wife, her daughter, and her daughter's boyfriend. So it was the four of us. We went in her Camry hybrid. So it was, you know, hybrid cars aren't really ideal for highway driving, but it still got pretty good mileage. And we were going about 80 miles an hour most of the time, except when we were in traffic. And we had people passing us like we were sitting still. The roads were pretty wide open. We did hit a lot of traffic in Birmingham, Chattanooga, and one other place, I can't remember. Maybe it was Knoxville. We hit some traffic there. But once we got 81 going through Virginia, it was a lot of traffic, but it was moving quickly. So we had fun down there in the Big Easy. I would recommend it, but the things are pretty expensive down there. It was more costly than I thought. So if you go, enjoy yourself. And there's an area called Bourbon Street. I guess that's where all the Mardi Gras stuff happens, when everybody gets really crazy. But there are places down there that sell margaritas, punch drinks. If you can get a mixed drink and walk around with that out there, and the police aren't going to bother you. There were National Guard soldiers walking around, and they said that New Orleans is down 300 officers. So the National Guard soldiers were walking around in groups of three. It didn't appear to be pretty wild. Nobody was getting out of hand. I saw a lot of people who obviously had too much to drink, but the only people I saw close to fighting they appeared to be a homeless couple, and they were arguing and yelling and screaming, and somebody called the police, but by the time the police got there, they had gone their separate ways, and they were familiar. Apparently the police were familiar with that couple. I hope they got themselves straightened out and they're in a better state of mind today. It's really interesting. They have a set of railroad tracks that runs right along the Mississippi, and the trains would come through there, and sometimes they would stop, and they had the crossing blocked a long time. I don't know if there was a railroad yard or something, but people couldn't get out of the parking lot by the riverfront park. And I saw that happen 2 or 3 times with freight trains. I didn't, and it wasn't even CSX, it was some other line. But there's a lot of, it's a great city for walking. There's a lot of places you can go. A lot of little hole in the wall type bars along there, but it's, like one place it was $8.50 for a Yingling draft. And I'm like, what? But anyway, that's about it. Now we're back to reality, back to doing laundry and getting everything straightened up in the house and whatnot. But yep. So now I've been in 44 out of the 50 states. So I want to do the 6 more are on my bucket list. So I hope everybody has a good day. Be of good cheer and never take your good health for granted.